伺っていて、そうですね、ジョン・ケスラーさんが人間味っていうお話をされていたってことなんですけれども、それすごく興味あるなと思って、もう少しその人間味っていうところがどうしてジョン・ケスラーさん大事にされてたのかってこと、何か補足とかしてもらえませんか？
It's difficult to put words to humility. Um, it's interesting to me in the meditative traditions, if we talk about Buddhist meditation, for example, one of the deep insights from Buddhist meditation is no self, in Sanskrit, anatta. We realize that what I thought I was, I'm not that. What I thought I was just a construct in my mind. And what I really am is indescribable. What's interesting to me is that that is a description of meditation or a state, an insight that we have. But stages brings its own insight. At each stage of development, we have a new sense of self, right? So if I'm at the stage of achievement, we say orange in spiral dynamics, or we say achiever in Bill Torbert's words, then my sense of a self is like, I have power, I can make decisions, I can set goals, and I can do things in the world. But then all of a sudden, if I develop to the next stage, I realize, wow, like I'm not who I thought I was. There are all these different influences on me, and I'm a different person in every context, in every situation. So my sense of self changes. And if we keep developing, eventually we start to realize, like, wow, myself, it's not even just the personality. It's not even just the body and the mind. I'm not just my feelings and my thoughts. I also realize that I'm just aware. I'm just awareness. And when we realize that the essence of what the human being is just awake, open awareness, that's its own kind of insight. So we talk about enlightenment in meditation, but there's also enlightenment in stages. We get to a point in the stages of development where the self becomes bigger than big and freer than free. So humility, whether we whether we approach it from meditation or from stages of development or both, we start to realize this great mystery that we're not who we thought we were. So we don't get to take credit for all the good stuff that's going on. And yet our heart is somehow full of goodness, and all we want to do is help other people. That's the tendency of humility. I think, to me, mature humility is a willingness to just participate in the flow of life and help out in any way we can.
ありがとうございます。うん。そうですね。トーマスさんは、その仏教のこととかもたくさんやられてるってことなんですけれども、どんな仏教の実践をしたりとか、あと仏教以外にもどんなその宗教的なところの勉強をしたりしてたのかについても教えてもらえますか？
Yeah. No, I really, so I was raised Christian, which many people in the United States are raised Christian, but at a really young age, I lost interest. I wasn't interested in Christianity. And as a teenager, I got really interested in Buddhist meditation. I found my first Buddhist teacher who was a Zen teacher. So the techniques I learned, the practices, the rituals I learned in Zen were so helpful in helping me learn how to settle my mind and my heart and my body. So to this day, when I talk about meditation and IPP, really the foundations, the really foundational techniques of meditation, I really owe so much to the Buddhist tradition for teaching me that. But being in a kind of integral community, the Buddhism that I practice now is an integral kind of Buddhism. So it's not just the traditional, it's using insights from psychology, insights from integral theory, and insights from developmental psychology and so forth. So I continue to do Buddhist meditation today, but it's informed by a lot of different influences and different currents. And integral theory has been a big inspiration to me and has really changed the way I look at Buddhism. It's changed the way I look at Christianity, you know.
ありがとうございます。トーマスさんはその仏教とか禅についてはいつ頃から実践してきて、どんな、旅をしてきたのかも教えてもらえますか？
So, you know, I started Buddhist meditation when I was 18 years old. And from the very beginning, from day one, I knew there was something really important for me to understand about Zen. Actually, I knew there were really powerful principles involved there. So from the day I learned how to meditate, I've meditated every single day the rest of my life because I just love it. You know, there's something about sitting still with an upright posture, just being relaxed and content within myself. I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to do anything. I can just be. I realized from day one that that was a really important way for me to be human. So I've had many teachers over the years from different traditions, from the Hindu tradition, from the Buddhist tradition, from Christianity. And I learned so much from all of them. So I've really made a study of all of the world's meditative traditions. And I've really tried to integrate what works best with these practices. But what's interesting, so I started meditating when I was about 18 years old or so. And after about, I remember it was about 7 years I'd been meditating every day. And I started to realize like, I feel very different. I don't feel like the same person I was when I started meditating. And my teacher at the time, one of my meditation teachers, he knew about the work of Ken Wilber. And he said, oh, you should read some integral theory. And I read about integral theory and I read about the stages of development. And I thought, I'm developing. I realized not only was I developing, but that meditation was helping me develop in a healthier way, maybe faster. Maybe I was developing faster because I was meditating. I don't know, but I knew in that moment that I was changing in a way that was very positive. I felt much more free. I was much more happy than I used to be. And so at that point, when I was about 25 years old, I thought, I need to learn more about development. And so I read all the books I could. I listened to all of the podcasts I could. I did everything I could to really learn about it. But it wasn't until I met John Kessler, who was a real master, who had developed IPP, that I really started to get it in my bones. John Kessler introduced me to Terry O'Fallon a couple years later. And so these two really they've really mentored me over the last almost 15 years of learning how to work with development. So I was meditating, I was learning about the stages. I was also starting to do research in the stages, and I was working with other people in the community, and I was looking at the way meditation and different principles of development was helping them develop. So I was doing field work, you could say. I was actually doing research and working directly with people and seeing how these models can help us grow together. So, you know, it's been really the last 10 years of my life that I've been dedicated to teaching meditation full time and working in adult development as a professional. Before that, I was working in China in a different career. So it's been the last 10 years that I've been doing this, and I hope to spend many more years doing it now as well.
素晴らしいですね。